color guard, halt. Present. Colors. Present. Arms. Colors. Ready. Cut. Forward. March.
Good afternoon, sir. My son Hawkins reporting his order.
Good afternoon, sir.
At the age of 17 years old, Private Alford J. Hawkins attended Marine Corps boot camp at MCRD San Diego, California, where he was assigned to 3rd Recruit Training Battalion, Lima Company, Platoon 3008. He graduated in November 1997 and would proceed to Marine combat training at the School of Infantry in Camp Pendleton, California. At Marine Combat Training School, he received his MOS as a unit diary clerk and would attend Unit Diary Clerk School at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. His first assignment as a Unit Diary Clerk was at Marine Air Support Squadron 1 in Cherry Point, North Carolina, where he was promoted to Lance Corporal. Following Cherry Point, he was assigned to Marine Corps Headquarters Squadron, Iwakuni, Japan for 1 year. There he was promoted to the rank of Corporal of Marines and attended corporal course, earning top honors. Corporal Hawkins re-enlisted and was sent to inspector instructor duty in Abilene, Texas, 4th Maintenance Battalion. During this tour, he was promoted to sergeant, completed the martial arts instructor course, and graduated from sergeant's course at 29 Palms, California. He eventually took over as admin and training chief. His next journey would take him back to the place where he began, MCRD San Diego, California, but this time as a student at the drill instructor school. After completing a rigorous drill instructor training school, he was assigned as a drill instructor to the 2nd Recruit Training Battalion, Fox Company. He was promoted to staff sergeant while on the drill field and completed staff academy at the Staff NCO Academy in Camp Pendleton. After 3 years of completing drill instructor duty, Staff Sergeant Hawkins was transferred to 1st Marine Expeditionary Force at Camp Pendleton, California. During his time at 1st MEF, he was promoted to Gunnery Sergeant, completed the Staff NCO Advanced course, and deployed to Afghanistan with Command Element 1st MEF for 1 year. Following his time at the MEF, he was assigned to Marine Wing Support Squadron 374, where he was assigned as Senior Enlisted Advisor for Headquarters and Support Company and Acting Sergeant Major. After his 29 Palms tour, he transferred to his final destination at the University of New Mexico as the Assistant Marine Officer Instructor. His personal awards include the Drill Instructor Ribbon, Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal, the Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal with 3 gold stars. He has a bachelor's degree in business management from American Military University and pursuing a master's degree from Michigan State University. Attention to orders. Department of the Navy. This is to certify that the Secretary of the Navy has awarded the Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal, Gold Star in lieu of second award, to Master Sergeant Alford J. Hawkins, United States Marine Corps, for meritorious achievement while serving as the Assistant Marine Officer Instructor, Naval Reserve Officer Training Corps Unit, University of New Mexico, from 14 April 2014 to 4 May 2017, demonstrating exceptional professionalism and leadership. He simultaneously served as non-commissioned officer in charge of 2 Contra Midwest evolutions, as sergeant instructor at the U.S. Marine Corps Officer Candidate School, and fundamentals of naval science instructor. An experienced and skilled drill instructor, he reintroduced close order drill with arms and uniform standards to the midshipman training curriculum, as well as establishing and conducting the unit's first professional small arms training program. Additionally, he served as a mentor and leadership coach to over 160 midshipmen and enlisted officer candidates, while setting the example for them in conduct, discipline, and military bearing by his unswerving devotion to the trainees in his charge and complete dedication to duty. Master Sergeant Hawkins reflected credit upon himself and upheld the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service. Given this 4th day of May 2017, signed, Captain M.B. Riley.
Thanks, sir.
Commanding.
You know I made all the bullshit up.
I know, right? Okay. Fake news.
Extremely proud of you.
Thanks, sir.
I don't know why you want me.
United States Marine Corps. Master Sergeant Alford J. Hawkins was transferred this date from the U.S. Marine Corps to the Fleet Marine Corps Reserve after 20 years of honorable and faithful active service. Signed, Robert B. Neller, Commandant of the Marine Corps.
It's two in one.
Certificate of Appreciation for service in the Armed Forces of the United States of America, Master Sergeant Alfred J. Hawkins, USMC. I extend to you my personal thanks and sincere appreciation of a grateful nation for your contribution of honorable service to our country. You have helped maintain the security of the nation during a critical time in its history with a devotion to duty and spirit of sacrifice in keeping with the proud traditions of military service. Your commitment and dedication have been an inspiration for those who will follow in your footsteps, and all Americans who join me today in saluting you for a job extremely well done. My best wishes to you for happiness and success in the future. Signed, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, Commander-in-Chief.
Who's coming up next?
Dear Master Sergeant Hawkins, the Marine Corps has been your occupation and family for many years past, and I am certain that the memories, interests, and the future of the Corps will remain with you forever. Many desire to obtain your accomplished goals, but few can compare to you. You have clearly demonstrated the exceptional leadership, qualities, and professional contributions we seek of our senior Marines. We are proud, as you must be, of your successful career. As a teacher to young Marines, a source of wise counsel, and an example of those soldierly virtues we so admire. You have made a mark on the Corps that will remain long after you have left our active ranks. There are many young Marines you have influenced who will carry on in the same fine tradition that always characterized the United States Marine Corps. You have my best wishes for good health and continued success in the years ahead. Signed, Robert B. Neller, Commandant of the Marine Corps. Dear Master Sergeant Hawkins, on the occasion of your retirement, I would like to extend my congratulations and heartfelt thanks for your many years of dedicated service and selfless devotion to our country and Corps. You have made tremendous contributions and sacrifices throughout your Marine Corps career. As you prepare to enter this new chapter of your life, you can look back with immense pride and satisfaction on all you have accomplished. You have set an example of professionalism and leave a standard of excellence for all Marines who will carry on the legacy of our Corps. My wife, Andrea, joins me in wishing you continued success in the future. Semper Fidelis. Signed, Ronald L. Green, 18th Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps.
The first time I met Master Sergeant Hawkins, I believe it was April of 2014, I was coming to take over this unit. I was actually still on sea duty, and so I had flown off the carrier, flown into Albuquerque to do a turnover with the current commanding officer. And the reason that I immediately recognized him, things were a little bit different before we got here, was we were the only two who were in uniform. So came up, we said hello, and we started a pretty great relationship. He has done some pretty wonderful things, but every now and then, you know, he sort of surprises me. I was walking down the hall, and it was the 221st, I believe, birthday of the Marines. And I look out and I see all this movement out of the window. Now, at first I thought, you know, it was our Army compatriots coming over and doing PT on our pull-up bars. I mean, it was 2 in the afternoon. That's about what time they get going for PT. So I looked out there and I realized that it was Master Sergeant Hawkins. So I go out there and I'm like, Master Sergeant, what are you doing? He says, sir, it's the 221st birthday of the Marine Corps. I'm like, mm-hmm. He says, I'm doing 221 pull-ups. I'm like, really? And so he was doing 221 pull-ups, and about pull-up 50, I got sort of tired watching him. But it was pretty motivating, so I gone and got a burrito and a beer and came back. I'm like, man, that's pretty impressive. But that's just the type of person he did. He did all 221 of them. Then he went off to whatever he was doing. And then the next time he surprised me, I hear all this noise out behind my office. And in my office, there's a back door, and it opens out onto a porch area. And I hear all this yelling and screaming, and it sounded like, you know, earth moving equipment. And I go out there, and Master Sergeant Hawkins had got the Marine options, and they had completely torn up the back of, well, basically the backyard of the building. And they had dug all the dirt out from underneath the stairs and everything, and they had made some type of obstacle course. And I learned a lot of times, it's just, you don't even ask Master Sergeant questions, you just look out, take a look at what he's doing, and then you go back inside your office and he'll talk to you about it later. But he's been an inspiration to all of us in the battalion, and most naval commands have a Navy Master Chief or Senior Chief who acts as a senior enlisted leader. And that's somebody that the commanding officer goes to, closes the door, talks about things, and sort of gets a feel for how the unit's doing. Well, we didn't have that, and so Master Sergeant, at that time he was a gunnery sergeant, he filled that position for me. And we talked about a lot of things. We talked about a lot of you. We talked about you guys too, a lot. You know, but just as a source of advice and counsel, and he fulfilled that role, and it's something that I'll be able be forever grateful to him. And also, obviously, Master Sergeant is a pretty imposing physical presence. So at times when I needed to go up on the hill and get something out of the university, I had him come with me. He'd never say anything. He'd just sort of be like 2 steps behind me. And amazingly, I used to get anything that I asked for out of UNM. So I'll miss that from Master Sergeant. But we got Gunnery Sergeant Collier here, who's just as big, so you don't lose any of that. But the thing that I wanted to thank Master Sergeant the most for, one was when he got promoted to Master Sergeant, I had the pleasure of promoting him. And I thought that was a huge honor, and I really appreciated him allowing me to do that. But for being the person that he is, and for serving as an example to the midshipmen that are in our charge and that we're responsible for turning into officers. This is a very difficult job that we have here. We're charged with taking basically civilians, and 4 years later, all of the ROTC services are charged with doing this, producing a basic qualified officer. That's extremely difficult to do on a college campus, where unlike boot camp or officer candidate school, you don't have control of them 24 hours a day. You don't have them on lockdown, and essentially you have to perform a full-time training program and assessment on some part-time folks, and that can be extremely difficult. The Master Sergeant Hawkins made that extremely easy for us. We certainly did have challenges, but we were able to meet all those challenges thanks to his leadership and his presence, and being an example that not only the midshipmen, but the Marine ECPs we have, the sailors in the Enlisted Commissioning and State 21 program, and in fact, the officers, my EXO and myself, an example that we can look to for professionalism and strength when we need it, and we all do. So thanks a lot for that, Master Sergeant. I really do hate seeing you leave, but I know you have bigger and better things. And one last thing that I want to bring up about Master Sergeant Hawkins is how incredible humble he is. And what I mean by that, I'll be walking by his office, and one day, he had this certificate, he's looking at it. Master Sergeant, what's that? Oh, I just got my bachelor's degree. And that's exactly how I said it. And then he was doing something else, he was screwing around on the internet. And I'm like, well, why didn't you tell anybody anything? I mean, that was a huge achievement, but just the way Master Sergeant does things, that was just something that he did every day. And then the next thing I know, he's working on his master's degree. And again, didn't say anything to anybody, just started moving out, taking care of business like he always does. I had the pleasure of meeting his beautiful wife, Maria, and he told me about how you met. I won't go into that, but and his two sons, Nate and Dallas, who sometimes I call him Walker and Texas Ranger, based on the stories that he can tell me about him. But they're some amazing children, and they have a lot of his personality traits. So that glare that they give you, they got that from their father. But we are going to miss you a lot around here. But congratulations, and Bravo Zulu on a job well done. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Captain Rodriguez. Can you hear me okay? All right, good to go. I just want to thank everybody for coming out here to celebrate this special occasion for Master Sergeant Hawkins. I know we've got family members who traveled from out of state, so really appreciate it. It's a beautiful day in Albuquerque. I couldn't ask for better weather. 3 years ago, I met Master Sergeant Hawkins, and what I've got to know him, he's a positive person. He's the kind of leader that can find the potential within somebody and build it within him, and he's a family man. So definitely a person of good character and moral, but he's really a close friend of mine, most importantly. 20 years, it's taken 20 years for him to get to this point. So, I think as a lot of Marines serve, very few get to retire. So it's very challenging service to get to this point. He's had some pretty incredible billets during his 20 years. Admin Chief, drill instructor, senior drill instructor, assistant Marine officer instructor, sergeant instructor, company first sergeant, acting sergeant major. So obviously he crammed a lot in 20 years. And you don't get to Master Sergeant by coincidence. So definitely proud of him. I'm proud that he made it to this far, and hopefully I can be there close behind him. But it's time. It's time for you to focus on your family, and it's time to focus on yourself. And he's on the right path. Like the CEO said, he's got a bachelor's degree, already working on his master's. But definitely, I'm going to miss you. This unit's going to miss you. And the last thing that I want to say is that as you hang up your camis and your Charlies, I do have an issued uniform item for you that you can wear after the ceremony. So,
That'd be a red hat.
as every Marine retired has, it's a red hat. show that you made it to the finish line. Congratulations to that. And I'll get this to you in a second. Thank you.
All right, thank you. That's the old school. Oh, shit, looks like
Ladies and gentlemen, the retiree, Master Sergeant Hawkins.
Hey, thank you, gentlemen, for those kind words. It's fake news. Don't worry. Don't pay attention to them. I want to thank everybody for coming. The midshipmen, of course, who I've had the pleasure to be around and serve and kind of pick up on your personalities. And you also taught me things, and we'll talk about that later. I want to thank, can you hear me? I want to thank all my friends who are coming out, those from the gym. I just met them at the gym, and they came here to make sure that I actually left because they know what they say, you can't beat them, convince them to retire. Thank my brothers and sisters in the Army. It's a pleasure. Thank you. No one does what we do, and I never look down on any of the service in front of you, but I thank you. And but it's always been a pleasure, like working with you guys. Y'all borrow our van, we borrow your van. You know, just you want something. It's always a two-way thing. We come and get stuff from each other, and it works out that way. We had a good relationship. I'm sorry we couldn't do the same with the Air Force, but they probably can hear me, so don't worry about it. Thank my fellow Marine soldiers. They want to get out. And I'm just messing with. This is my friend Master Sergeant Bonda for coming out, and his mom. Thank him for coming out. He just recently retired, so I'm following in his footsteps. Thank Lieutenant, of course. Thank you for coming out. He used to be a former midshipman of mine. I hope he learned something from me. I would hope so, and he'll be a great officer. Thank you for coming out as well. My family from flying out. My mother-in-law, who's been she's always been there and always helping us out. Always reliable when we need a babysitter and cook sometimes. I thank her for that. I want to thank my mother for giving birth to such an amazing, handsome son. I'm just kidding about none of that. No, seriously, thank her for. I think one thing I learned that she gave me that's invaluable is to care for others, even when they don't deserve it. So that caring thing, that's something you can't buy, and using that all throughout my career, and it helped me. It's been like a hallmark of my leadership traits, is caring for others. Because as a kid, I watched her open a home up to a lot of people, family who needed homes, and I thought that was amazing. So I kind of carry those traits. So I'm not opening my home to any of you, but you get the point. So I want to thank Maria. She holds everything together while I'm here, and at home and stuff like that. Her dedication and support is unbounding, and I couldn't ask for a better friend and person in my life. My kids who teach me to share, they taught me to share because with the share the TV, I can't even bring a smoothie home and leave it there. I turn around, it's gone. So I had to learn to share. That was a growing thing I had to learn to do. So I now have to share, or I can buy two and drink one in the car. Didn't know that. Didn't know that, did you? My sister-in-law and her son, thank you for coming out as well. My auntie who flew all the way from last night and barely got in. And of course my brother and sister-in-law, pretty much everybody. Who I miss? In the back. Thank you. Who was that? Lucy Hayden. Now, for the staff, there's like individual things that I miss about them, and we're going to go into that. First, we'll start off with the commanding officer, Captain Raleigh. Sir, it's been a pleasure, everything you've done, and I'm going to tell you about Captain Raleigh. He's ambitious, and he's a dreamer. And I'll give you some examples of that. So Higher Headquarters came down and said, hey, we need to get the midshipmen before they graduate familiar with the weapons. So the CO comes in the meeting and says, hey, we need to make sure all the seniors are qualified with all the weapon systems before they commission. I'm like, okay, roger that. Go to Staff Sergeant Mijo. Staff Sergeant Mijo. And Staff Sergeant saying, I know you're taking 30 credit hours this summer, but you're on active duty, so I'm gonna need your help on this. So we made it happen, as always. So another daytime, he was sitting in his office. I guess he was watching Kung Fu Panda or something. I don't know what he was doing. And so he came out and he says, Master Sergeant, we need to get all the Marine midshipmen before they graduate, tan belts, martial art qualified. So I'm like, okay, sir, roger that. I can't tell you why I stayed in the Marine Corps, that's more importantly. Let's see, a quick story. I know I gotta go, but quick story. I was a corporal in Iwakuni around 2000. You can fact check me, it's on the back of the thing. So I was a corporal, new to the unit in Iwakuni. And we have what we call a field day. That's when you clean your room spotless and your staff NCOs will come and inspect the room. It has to be spotless, or if you fail, there's trouble. So when I checked in the unit, I was a new corporal, feeling all happy because I was a corporal Marines and finally made NCO. And there was 3 motivated corporals that worked there, Corporal Harris, Corporal Hall, and Corporal Gardner. These guys were like married to the Marine Corps. They loved the Marine Corps. I mean, I liked the Marine Corps, but I wasn't gonna marry her. I'll take her on a date. That's about it. But these guys were like married to the Marine Corps at the time. So we filled in a room, and I'm a new corporal. They come by my room, knock on the door, and they says, "Hey, Corporal Hawkins, respecting the Marines room, the Junior Marines room, you want us to take a look at yours?" I'm like, "No." I said, "I'm a Corporal Marine. What are you talking about? I know how to clean my room. I've been doing this for 3 years. I'm a grown-ass man." I get one cussing word. I said, "I'm a grown man." So they like, "Very well, suit yourself." So I clean my room. It's getting spotless. I'm cleaning. I mean, I'm freaking scrubbing the floor, everything dusting, rack is tight. So I get up the next morning early and do one more spot check because I wanted them to impress everybody, know that a new corporal coming to your unit don't need help. So I clean the room, it's all tight. I go to work the next day, come back for lunch, and my rack is turned over and the stuff is all over the floor. So I'm furious. I look at and there's a white sheet. I grab this white sheet and it has a big F fail with all these discrepancies on there. So I'm like, oh my God, I thought I just cleaned that room for like 4 hours. So I look around and I hear a knock at the door, boom, boom, boom. So I was embarrassed, so I tried to hurry up and fix my rack before somebody see it, and they just bought these 3 corporals, Corporal Harris, Corporal Gardner, Corporal Hall, barges in my door, looks around, he's like, "Looks like you failed field day." I was like, great job, detective. And they just started laughing at me, clowning at me, because I didn't ask for their help, and they just making fun of me. I'm just getting fumed. And they like, "Check this out, if you fail the next field day, Gunny Perry is gonna have your butt." Gunny Perry is my staff NCO, freaking slender guy, and he had a sidekick that was a Staff Sergeant Gibbs, 2 times my size. All he does is walk around and does his dirty work for him. So I was super mad, so I said, "I don't need your help." Like, I was already mad, like, "You know what, get out of my room, I got this." So I'm on a second time field day, my Friday is canceled, I have no liberty, I'm cleaning my room. Freaking clean my room, scrub it. It was so good that I didn't even want to sleep in my bed because I wanted my rack tight. I slept on the floor. I didn't even take a shower because I didn't want to touch anything. I wanted it to be perfect when they came in. So it's Saturday morning. I'm up, standing in front of the door, waiting for Gunner Sergeant Perry and Staff Sergeant Gibbs, the freaking big henchman, come in. He comes in to my door. Staff Sergeant Gibbs, of course, bumps me on the shoulder as he goes in the door. And then he looks in the room. I'm standing outside the door. I'm not allowed to go in. I hear the same thing, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? So I looked in my room, same results. Rack turned over, everything's all over the floor. I just can't win. And then Gunny Perry looked at me and said these deadly words: "Get your PT gear, we're going for a run." I almost died on the spot. So Gunny Perry is known for, he's like Captain Rodriguez, a marathon runner. And the word around the base is he runs until the person passes out after field day. So I wasn't prepared to run at the time because I was up all night cleaning my room. So I go outside with my PT gear. As I'm walking through the barracks, it's like a Western showdown. Everybody closes their doors, windows shut. Like it feels like an abandoned building. So I'm walking outside to get ready for PT, and I go out there and I see Corporal Harris out in the crew stretching, getting ready. I said, "What are y'all doing?" They're like, "We're going for a run with the gunny." I said, "Why? Y'all didn't feel for your day?" He said, "Hey, we're brothers. It's a brotherhood." So I was like, okay. That was one thing that stuck with me, brotherhood. Rewind back to 1997. Boot camp, we're doing a uniform inspection by the drill instructors, and I'm standing there and I'm just watching recruits get carried away. It's like dragons eating them up as they fail an inspection. So during the inspection, they check for uniform, your knowledge, and your bearing. So I'm standing there and I'm kind of listening to the questions they ask. I figured if one get the question wrong, I can get that question right and I'll be safe. So he's like the drill instructor is just like eating the recruits up. He's like the 3rd recruit from me. He asked a question that I knew the answer to. He said, the birthplace of Marine Corps, which is Tom Tavern, Philadelphia, right? So Tom Tavern, Philadelphia. So I'm waiting on that question. I'm hoping the recruit next to me gets it wrong because I'm about to get that right and I'm clear. So of course he gets to the recruit next to me. What's the birthplace of Marine Corps? He doesn't know. I said in my head, OMG. Well, I didn't say that, I'm just trying to relate to y'all. That OMG wasn't out then, but I said something to that effect. And so that recruit gets ate up, tore up, destroyed. He comes to me, stands in front of me, I give my report, recruit Hawkins, Fort Worth, Texas. Then he said, before he even said something, I was like, tongue tapper in Philadelphia. He's like, I didn't even ask you nothing, and he just started. So, and all the drill sergeants just come over there and they just start yelling at me. I'm doing push-ups, and he's just yelling at me, kicking dirt and stuff like that. And while I'm down, I happen to see another drill instructor in another formation inspecting, and on his arm was a tattoo, a sleeve that said Brotherhood. And then I saw that Brotherhood tattoo, and he said, why did you join? And I just yelled, Brotherhood, sir! So that's the thing that why I stayed in is because of Brotherhood. It's something the Marine Corps. So Brotherhood and core values, honor, courage, commitment, because those are things that have never changed. No matter how much society impacts the Marine Corps and the military with the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, transgender integration, whatever, even if it's fiscal, things that impact the Marine Corps and the Navy, Army, same thing. One thing that's never changed is brotherhood and those core values, the honor, courage, commitments, which are very immutable. So, and also that Kennedy would never untuck his shirt. This will never change. He always keeps his shirt tucked in his pants. So those are things that never change, and those things I kept with me and that have made me successful in a career, and it made me stay. So I don't know why I came in, but I know why I stayed in, and that's the honest truth. So again, thank you all for coming. I won't keep you any longer. Where's Kusak at? All right. So thank you all for coming, and I'll turn this back over to Staff Sergeant Hall, who will never get any gains. Let me tell you about the MESELs real quick. Just real quick before I close. We got Staff Sergeant Amiho, Staff Sergeant Hall, and Staff Sergeant Singh, who's taking pictures. I mean, these guys are wonderful. I watched them come here, and I watched them grow mentally. I would say physically, but I'm not gonna lie to you on my last day. They have not grown a bit. Like, in fact, I think they got smaller. It must be the cross. Is it the CrossFit or what? That's the CrossFit. So I've watched them grow mentally, and they're good people, and they've done wonderful things for me. And I think all three of you, especially. And where's OC McConnell? Is he here? He hasn't grown either, so don't worry about him. All right, but thank you all for coming, and Semper Fidelis. Hurrah.
Captain Rodriguez will now present Master Sergeant with a token of appreciation on behalf of the University of New Mexico staff.
On behalf of the staff here, we want to give you this plaque, and let me just read the citation for you. From the University of New Mexico, NRTC sincerely thanks you for your 20 years of faithful and dedicated service to the Corps and country. While at UNM NRTC, your leadership and guidance made positive and lasting impressions on more than 160 students. Your direct involvement with Officer Candidate School, unit drill ceremonies, new student orientation, field exercise, weapons training, physical fitness, and classroom instructions all have been instrumental in the development of future Naval and Marine Corps officers. The Marine Corps will truly miss your experience and leadership. Semper Fidelis.
Master Sergeant, if you'll stay up here for one more second, we got another little something for you.
So on behalf of the Marines and the Bulldog platoon, I'm going to give Master Sergeant this plaque. As you can see, there's some green screen on here. We know how much he likes Photoshop. So rather than put some pictures in here you didn't like, you figured you can Photoshop whatever you want to get in. I just wanted to thank you for your mentorship and your guidance and your jokes. You just laughing at my jokes all the time.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of Anchors Away and the Marines Hymn.